Making faith-based gaming content sounds exciting, but it also raises some really hard questions for me. Questions about money, questions about the message, and questions about whether or not it's actually the best use of my time. I work a full-time job, I'm married, I have children. I don't have unlimited hours or energy. So when I sit down to create content, especially content that involves faith, I feel the weight of the responsibility. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to misuse the platform. I don't want to confuse people about what faith actually looks like lived out. The first struggle is money. Not because I want to get rich, but because stewardship matters. Time costs something, energy costs something. And when you provide for your family, you have to ask the hard questions about return. For which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost? Luke 14:28. That verse hits me hard every time. Faith doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means being honest about it. I've had moments where I've asked myself, is this irresponsible? Should I be doing something else that guarantees income instead of trusting that this might grow someday? But scripture also reminds us that provision doesn't come from one source alone. And that my God will supply all of your needs according to his riches in his glory in Jesus Christ. Philippians 4:19. That doesn't mean be reckless. That means trust God while being wise. The second struggle, I don't want faith to feel like a gimmick. I don't want it to slap a verse on gameplay and call it meaningful. Faith isn't something you market, it's something you live. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. That verse doesn't say announce your faith, it says live it. That's the tension. How do you speak truth without turning it into a performance? I want my faith to shape how I react, how I treat people, how I handle loss and success, not just what I say. Because the moment faith becomes a brand instead of a foundation, something's off. But prove yourself doers of the word, not mere hearers who delude themselves. James 1:22. The third struggle is time. Time is limited. Once you spent it, it's gone. So I ask myself, is this producing fruit or just noise? So then while we have the opportunity, let us do good to all people. Galatians 6:10. Opportunity doesn't mean everything. It means the right things at the right time for the right reasons. I don't want to confuse activity with purpose. And scripture is clear that how you use your time matters. Therefore, be careful how you walk, not as unwise men, but as wise, making the most of your time. Ephesians 5:15-16. I don't have this perfectly figured out. I don't know how fast this will grow. I don't know how much it will make. I don't know exactly who it will reach. But I do know obedience doesn't always come with clarity. Sometimes it just comes with consistency. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understandings. Proverbs 3:5. That verse doesn't promise easy answers. It promises direction if you are willing to keep walking. If you're creating content, if you're trying to balance faith, finances, and time, or if you're asking yourself whether or not you're building something that actually matters, you're not alone. I don't believe faith-based content has to be loud to be meaningful. Sometimes it just has to be faithful. If this is something you've wrestled with too, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you ever want to talk through this live, I stream on Twitch. You're always welcome.